Damien, good to have you.
No, my pleasure. Always good to share good experiences.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your role at SIGVARIS and what exactly does SIGVARIS do?
Yeah, so my role is I'm the General Manager of SIGVARIS Group Australia New Zealand. So I manage the Australia New Zealand markets for the company, and SIGVARIS manufactures medical compression garments and also provides treatments to patients that have lymphatic or venous disease. And we have a very close relationship with patients and also with our B2B customers, and connecting them together and making sure that every patient gets the right fitting garment that is, perfect to their needs.
Great. What size organization is SIGVARIS, or how does it operate globally?
I'd say that we probably a medium-sized organization globally. We have 1,800 employees globally. We produce products, compression garments in Brazil, USA, France, Poland, and Switzerland. And we have subsidiaries in 18 countries across the world, roughly 18 countries, and we operate across every continent with over 80 distributors across 80 countries.
Wow, big operation.
Yes.
So I remember you came inbound to StartAdam. How did you find us and what attracted you to us?
I've always been looking for a cross-channel communication tool. So something that allows you to connect with people across different communication platforms, whether it be WhatsApp, SMS, Microsoft Teams, various different tools, because I believe that it's you want to have an instant connection with your customers, and you want to be able to talk to them on the platform that they feel most comfortable on. Especially for us, we work with customers with a lot of different demographics and a lot of different B2B segments, and it's often hard to communicate with them on their platform or try and get them to communicate on our platform. So I thought if we can find a way that we can get everyone harmonized, that it doesn't matter what platform we're on, then we can always be in touch real time and get the best solutions, easiest ways with the least frustration. And then I stumbled across StartAdam on LinkedIn actually. I just read the article that had announced that StartAdam had received funding secured investment funding to kind of take this next level. I can't remember exactly the details, and I thought I got to reach out. I got to find out about this because this sounds like the next generation, the next like the revolution in connecting with your customers in real time.
What were you using before StartAdam to communicate with your clients?
Mainly a lot of emails. A lot of emails, a lot of phone calls. And it was really eating up resource time. Emails are there's never a real-time communication in emails. It's always back and forth, trying to read the email chain. Someone creates a new email chain, then you got to try and group them together. Then someone has forwarded no CC, with CC, without CC, attachment here, no attachment there. And it was just, I would say it would be just really ineffective. That was the main. And then a lot of phone calls, which means that every phone call you take, a phone call can only be taken by one person at one time. You can't take multiple phone calls at the same time. So you're limited to how many phone calls you can take, to how many callers you have to take the calls.
Brilliant. And so, did you ever consider just using text message or having your team members use text message?
I think that not really, because you would have to have that. Then each person, you want to be able to have people working from the option to work from their phones or work from their desktop. You want to be able to keep the communication centralized in the company. So centralized communication, I believe, is key, because that creates, it's not about keeping control. A lot of people think that centralized communication is about control, but centralized communication is about transparency. right? If you have centralized communication, then you can create transparency within the team that when things happen, then the people who need to know that it happened, they know, right? Not that you need to think about who do I need to tell. This is the big problem that I see in organizations everywhere, is that people are like, oh, why didn't you tell me that happened? It's like, how am I supposed to know that I need to tell you that happened, right? So when you're able to create that centralized communication, then whoever needs to know, if they want to know, it's there. While text messaging, it actually just creates a relationship with the customer and the person who's texting, rather than a relationship with the company and the customer, which is what you want.
Absolutely. So how are you using StartAdam, and what impacts have you seen that it's had?
Yeah. So we're using StartAdam mainly with we're using it as our first inbound contact for B2C customers. So we're advertising this as our primary contact number, right? So instead of call us, we're going with text us. We have used StartAdam to transition from a phone-based organization to a chat-based organization, which I find is really key. It helps eliminate things like language barriers. It helps create a kind of a transcript of what's being said. It allows you to handle more conversations at the same time. It allows you to send attachments rather than trying to explain what you're trying to talk about and then sending an attachment after the call. It allows the customer to, or whoever's communicating with you, to do it in their own time. They can do it while they're multitasking. So that's really the B2C side. And then we're using on the B2B side that when we onboard customers, instead of onboarding that customer to an email address that you email here, or instead of onboarding the customer to, hey, this is your rep, that they could change, right? We're onboarding the customer to StartAdam, which we call the SIGVARIS hotline. And then we're having them save the SIGVARIS hotline in their phone, that anything they ever need, then they can text that number. When the B2B customer onboards them, so when we onboard the B2B customer to the SIGVARIS hotline, StartAdam gives us their name, their email, their phone number through this onboarding process. So we don't need to try and find out what these are anymore, right? Then we can go and make sure that all of this information is added to the CRM, right? Or you can even connect StartAdam to the CRM via API. At the moment, I prefer to just double check it because it's I'm still going through it. I was just still learning it all myself. And then from there, we've actually set up automated replies back to the customer in a routine basis. So every 2 months, every month, we are setting an automated reply from StartAdam to or from Slack StartAdam to the customer's phone, asking them, hey, have you had any issues with customers that you'd like to discuss with us? Is there anything that we can help you with regarding your customer experiences? Do you need to reorder any products? Is your stock supply running low? So instead of waiting for the customers to reach out to us when there's a problem, we are actually in front of that. And we're doing that in a very personalized way. You could say, oh, why aren't you you can do that by email. Well, you can't really set up automated replies like that by email. And when you do it by email, it's going to this kind of like this world of void, right? But when you're sending it to their mobile phone with an automated reply that they don't know is an automated reply, they're feeling like, wow, that's nice, right? I feel like I'm getting looked after, and that comes from the pretense that how many close friends can you have? How many relationships can you manage at a high level? Right, maybe like 5, right? So as soon as you go outside of those 5 key relationships that you're handling at a high level, generally then you're moving into the transactional ones. They call you when they need something. They call you when there's a problem, right? And the last thing that we want is customers only calling us when they have a problem, because that's when they're fed up. So using this tool, it allows us to create a more personalized relationship with them, allows us to set up these automated check-ins and make sure we're in front of problems before they happen, and almost amplifying the effectiveness of our sales team, that they can then focus on positives rather than always trying to remedy negatives that come up.
Brilliant. So it sounds like you're using StartAdam for a lot of inbound ingestion and then broadcast messages. I know you use our NFC card product. Where have you used that? I know you mentioned that it's basically performing as a sales rep now, which I'd
Mm-hmm.
love to hear more about.
Yeah.
Are there any notable deals that it's helped you close?
Yeah. Look, I would say that the first time that we launched the NFC cards was actually at a conference, right? So this is the first time they said we're going to ditch the pen and paper lead collection, and we're going to use our SIGVARIS NFC cards, right? And what we're doing with these cards, that instead of going around and trying to connect people with pen and paper, write down what they're interested in, their email address, etc., we literally were at the conference and we just tapped the card on their phone, and then they put in their name and their email address, and they're connected to us immediately. So with lead collection, it allows us to collect the accurate data that we can then start to start to follow up on immediately after the event without using pen and paper, and we can then kind of upload all of our lead that we collect into a conference follow-up kind of project, and then we can just follow up on them and then integrate them into the CRM as we work through them. In our first conference that we did that, people were so impressed that we closed over about $50,000 worth of business just in that day, just by people being like, wow, this is incredible. I want to work with a company that can deliver this kind of customer experience, that can deliver this type of easy business relationship. Because again, you can offer the best product in the world, but there's a lot of other companies that offer really good products. And when you can go the next level above and offer that experience, it makes a difference. More so recently, I was actually having a dinner with one of our close business partners, who's running a hospital and doing a lot of work mainly in the lipedema space. And I introduced him to the NFC card, which I told him was the SIGVARIS hotline. And he was really wowed by the idea that he could be with a patient, and instead of trying to find what referral pad to give, what card to give, where to send them, that he could tap the NFC card as well and connect them straight to where they need to go, rather than trying to get the patient to figure out it themselves, because they've got a lot of other things to worry about. And he actually took one of my NFC cards and he gave it a go just on the weekend when he was doing his clinic, and he sent me a text message on Monday saying, "This tap and go is bloody brilliant. Patients love it. Instant gratification, simplifies the whole experience." And I thought, yeah, we must be moving in the right direction.
Brilliant. And so what are your plans with StartAdam? What's a feature you would wish that we had? What would make it better?
Yeah. So I mean, for us, I think StartAdam is really on the right track. Our next stage is going to be to integrate outbound messaging. So at the moment, we still allow customers to call in and leave messages, all right? And we are calling them back, but we will start to, instead of calling them back, we will start to use the outbound messaging to message them back. So this will be a next step in us, transitioning to this chat-based organization. So that's going to be really effective. I guess the kind of next thing for us would be that the customer will engage through StartAdam, such as they will go through the welcome wizard and that will start a chat with us, but they don't always engage first. So that sometimes that they start it, but they don't say anything, right? And then sometimes you need something to just start the conversation. So I guess something that would be amazing is when the customer starts the conversation, that StartAdam, there's a feature within StartAdam which will actually engage first if they don't engage, which will then start the conversation. Whether that could be a generic message, and then that could then lead into just an initial start. So then the customer knows kind of where to go from there, because sometimes they might start it and then they're waiting for someone to talk to them, right? They might think that we need to talk to them first before they can talk to us. I'm not sure. So I think that would be a really good feature.
Cool. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's all. Overall, it's really helped us, I guess, build the differentiation between us and other competitors in our business. And I think it's taken our kind of how close we are to our customers and the transparency within our business to another level, which wouldn't have been possible without it.
Awesome. Do you have any idea of the revenue impact it might have had in terms of a number?
I would say that this year we have grown 40% on last year, which is extremely significant. And we have increased our EBIT result significantly as well. I would say that it has reduced our costs by at least, I would say it's reduced our costs at least by 100,000. And I would say that it has increased our revenue by over 150,000. So it would definitely be plus 250,000 from this year's growth and EBIT result using StartAdam, which is really it's significant and it's hard to put a value on it. But it's changed the way that we do business, and it's amplified the way that we can increase our communication with customers without increasing our costs. And it's also allowed us to generate more sales without increasing our costs. So it really benefits both those sides. It's amazing that it just reduces the amount of labor resource you need by just amplifying the customer experience through this chat-based, and also it almost acting as another sales rep for you. So yeah, I would say at least 250,000 plus on the EBIT. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks.